Can everybody hear okay? All right, good stuff. Did everybody get a chance to practice what we did last week?
Yes.
Sort of, kind of, maybe a little bit, yeah? Good, all right. So we're gonna go through really quickly. We'll do a really quick review. Let's do a quick review of everything. Let's do our alphabet and then our signs and everything. All right, get ready for your alphabet. We start with the letter A. Good job. You guys are so smart. All right, A. Let's see how quick we can go through them. You ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and whatever you want to call that one. Good job. All right. All right, we'll do our numbers really quick too. And maybe actually while we review our numbers, maybe I'll show you the next 10 so that you can be practicing them. All right, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? For the next ones, you're going to turn your hand around facing yourself, and all you do is 11, 11, so you actually put it up twice, 11, 12, 13, so you're 3, and you just kind of wave your fingers back at yourself. Turn your hand around towards yourself. 13, 14, 15. Now, these ones, there are a couple different ways you can do it. So you can flip it back around and you can brush your finger like that. I don't know if you can see that for 16, 17, 18, and 19. And then 20 is just 20. Okay, just like a bird closing its mouth. 20. All right, now, another way that you might see it is because your team numbers are 10 plus that one's number, that 3 or that 4 or that 5. Sometimes they'll do they'll flick their 10 hand and then they'll give you the 3, or they'll flick it and give you 4, or they'll flick it and give you 5, or they'll flick it and give you 6. Okay, for 15, 13, 14, 15. Sometimes they'll shake it, 16, 17, 18, 19. There are a few different ways that you might see it, but this one is very common, just brushing the finger. And then 20. So the ones that might trip you up the most would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you practice those, and that gives you to 20. And then after that, after 21, which 21 is like, I can't do it exactly right. You're supposed to be able to bend your thumb without bending this finger. I can't do that. But if you can, so this is 21, just like you're shooting a gun, 21, okay? And then you go 22, 23, but that's getting, and then after you get through those, there's a pattern to how the numbers go. But for now, just go to 20. And if you can remember 21, then that's a good deal. All right, so last week we did a lot of family signs, or signs to do around the house, whatnot. You should know how to say hi to someone. You should know how to spell your name. Very good, Willow, very good. You should be able to tell them what your name is and spell it for them. You should be able to ask them if they're deaf. You should be able to tell them if you are a hearing person or deaf or hard of, oh, I guess I didn't show you hard of hearing, did I? So sometimes, a lot of times, they might classify themselves as deaf, but they're actually just hard of hearing. So what that is, it's an H, and you kind of turn it towards them. It's just hard of hearing. So it's 2 H's. hard of hearing. Okay, so if you see that, you might ask them, are you deaf? And they'll say, oh, no, I'm just hard of hearing, which means if you talk really loud, yeah, maybe they will be able to hear you, but chances are you're just going to annoy everybody around you. So you're better off either signing to them or writing notes. All right. So I guess we learned a few signs. Somebody tell me what size your house is. I see Willow going, oh, Willow and Darius, they say their house is small. And the Thren kids say their house is big. I think Will and Brett have a pretty decent sized house. I do believe. I have not actually seen it in person, even though I'm related to them, which is very odd, but they do have a sizable house now. My house is small. Well, it's narrow, but it's long. I live in a mini home. All right. Good. So you guys, and there's only a few of us today, so I guess if you want to unmute yourselves, unless there's something really loud going on around you or you don't want to, you probably could unmute yourself and we'll get a little bit of feedback from you. But I would like you guys to show me the sign. At first, I'll ask you to show me the sign, and then what we'll do is maybe leave yourselves muted for now, maybe, and then we'll go through a few where I'll tell you the sign. Sorry, Lana. I'll tell you the sign that I want you to show me, and then we'll switch it around, and I'll show you a sign, and you guys can unmute yourselves and tell me what sign I'm showing you. How would that be? That'll work okay? Okay, hope so. All right, show me the sign for mother. Very good, mother. Now remember I told you all the signs for women and girls. Yes, Ethan, we know what you're telling Sydney. No, I'm just teasing. My husband likes to say that the women's signs are all around the jawline because women talk a lot. And then all the man signs are up here by the head because they're so smart. But there are always exceptions to those rules. I have to confess, I am probably a woman that does talk a lot. No, I am that talks a lot. Oh dear. All right, so mother, okay? Mother. Who remembers grandmother? That's right. Grandmother is just out once. And then for great-grandmother, it would be twice, great-great-great-grandmother, and so on. Very good. All right, so father. Yes, father. A lot of times you will see like small children that don't talk yet or are just learning to talk. They'll just point mom and dad, mommy, daddy. That's fine. But the actual sign would be mother, father. So if you're talking about your parents to somebody, how would you sign that? Yeah, father and mother. So you just sign them together. I say my father and mother taught me sign language, which they didn't, but they could have. My children could say that. All right. What's the sign for boy? Very good. Grab that bill of your hat, boy. And girl? Good. We'll go through these, try to go through these. I keep forgetting that we have a time limit. Try to get through these in the next 5 or 6 minutes. All right. How many of you remember brother and sister? Yeah. Yeah. So remember, it's boy, right, and girl, right. Remember, this is sign for boy and girl. You take your thumb and drag it along your cheek. So it's boy, right, and girl, right. So brother and sister. Okay. It's not because boys are always right or girls are always right. That's just the way the signs go together. I can see Brett down there. Yeah, that's because boys are always right, but then girls are too. So really it's even Steven. All right. Who remembers the sign for baby? Half of you, all I can see is like from here up. So I don't know if you're doing it right or not, but I'm guessing that you are. Good. So when you sign baby, you don't even really have to rock it. You can just put your hands like you're holding a baby. If you hold the baby like this, Could be a problem. All right, so what would be the sign for son? Right, a boy baby is a son. Boy, and it doesn't matter if you're an actual baby or you're 50 years old. If you are a son, you are still a boy baby. It's not a man child or anything like that. It's just boy baby. All right, so the sign for daughter, of course, would be right. Absolutely. Good stuff. You guys practiced this week, didn't you? I can tell. All right, how many of you remember you got the signs for oh, Sydney didn't practice it. Who's shaking her head for her? Oh, that figures, Tanner. All right, how many of you remember the difference between the sign for father and the sign for man? Right, so man, you start at the forehead and you go to the chest. So the sign for woman, right, you start at the chin and drop it down to the chest. That's right, good job. All right, husband and wife, what's the sign for husband? Right, now most of you are not ready to be husbands yet. I don't think. I mean, maybe you are, I don't know. And the sign for wife? Right, so husband, because this is the sign for married or marriage. So husband, a man who is married, or a wife, a woman who is married, okay? And I can tell by looking at you girls, there's none of you ready to be wives. So don't get too excited. Although I don't know that I was all that ready to become a wife when I did, and I was 22 years old, so. All right, so we covered mother and father, we covered baby. Okay, what about child? How do you show a child? Right, you just show the height of a child. So you're not probably, well, some of you maybe, I don't even know how tall Will and Brett are, but I know that Ethan and Tanner, I know all those boys are really tall, so you might have to go way up that. But for most of you, you're just going to show the height of a child, which is typically shorter than the parents, at least for a little while. All right, and what about if there's more than one child? What if there's a bunch of kids? Right, so more than one child, you can show how many there are. And depending on the family, and we all have some of those families, you need 2 hands. And you just start up high and you work your way down to the smallest one. All right, we covered that one. I have to have my book to make sure that I remember all the things that we did last week. Okay, oh, uncles and aunts and cousins and goblins, me, oh my. All right, so aunts, or ants, I'm sorry. You know, the little things that crawl around the floor, the ants, no. Your aunts, your aunts, whatever you choose to call them. I have been called both. Right, you're gonna take your A hand and just you can either shake it or you can do circles around your chin, something like that. What about uncles? Yeah, you're just gonna do it with your U hand. You can do circles, you can shake it, whatever. And cousins, it all depends on whether it's a boy cousin or a girl cousin. So pretty simple. Okay. There's only a few left, so why don't you go ahead and unmute. Unmute yourselves. All right. I am going to show you a sign, and you are going to tell me what it is. Now, every time we do something like this, there's an eager beaver who needs to answer all of the questions first. Let's not do that. Let's give everybody a turn to guess. Okay, children? All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Ready?
No.
I can't see her sign.
Family.
Very good. Family. So do it with me. How do we do it? Our F hands, put them together and make a circle, that family circle. Okay, family. All right, only the boys are allowed to answer this one. Okay, only the boys.
We are.
That's right. It's the sign for sweetheart. Okay, boys, time for honesty. How many of you have a sweetheart?
What's that? Mommy, what is this?
Everybody's pointing. Is that Jackson everybody's pointing to?
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler. Really? See, you learn all kinds of things about your nieces and nephews or cousins or whatever you guys are. Learn all kinds of things. All right. What's this sign? Everybody.
Friend.
Right. A friend. Now, what's this one?
Best friend. Very good friend.
Yeah, a really good friend or your best friend. Okay, now here's a sign. It's like a compound word in English. It's two signs together to make one. Let's see.
What do you want to pause that?
Neighbor.
That's right. Who said that? Was that you, Darius? Good job. All right, so your neighbor is a person that's close to you and lives in the house. So you can do it either way. You can do house that's close, or you can do close house, but that's your neighbor, somebody that lives pretty close to you. Now, to my husband, it doesn't matter if you live 2 kilometers down our road or 3 miles down our road, you're still our neighbor. So the neighbor is not just the person that lives next door, it's the person that lives within a 5-mile radius of us, apparently. But that's different for everybody. All right, so what's this one?
Where's my friend?
It's where you eat and where you sleep. So what is that? What do we call that?
Oh.
Right, it's home. It's where we eat and where we sleep. Okay, so what you're learning from this little exercise is that it's easy for somebody, or it's easy to sign words sometimes, but it's not so easy when somebody else is signing them for you to understand what's being signed. So a good idea is to practice both ways. If you have somebody that you can practice with them so that you have a chance not only to do the signs yourself, but to see somebody else doing them back to you. Okay? What about this one?
Welcome.
Right, I'm not telling you that I'm fat. I'm welcoming you. Welcome. All right, good job. Okay, all right, so now you can mute yourselves because we're into new signs. These are all home, house, place where you live kind of signs, okay? So you already know the sign for house. What is it? That's right, so you show the roof and the walls. Pretty simple. But now we are going to fill in that roof and the walls with some of the other things that you might find in your house. If you're going to welcome me into your house, I will want to walk through the, can anybody guess what the sign might be? How would you? That's pretty close. So put your hands like this, facing out, and open one of the doors. Now, if you have double doors, you can open them both. Doesn't really matter, but that's the sign for door. Okay, it opens and it closes. All right, so that's the sign for door. Okay, now, if I don't want to stay, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, I might ask to go to the washroom and I might try to crawl out the window. I'm probably not. I'll probably be kind enough to say, excuse me, I need to leave and walk out the door the same way I came in. But you never know. Some people are really weird. Like you get some really strange visitors sometimes. So what could possibly be the sign? And now, okay, I understand there are umpteen different kinds of windows that one could have in their house. But in your typical average everyday person's house, unless you're me that has to go like this to open your windows, most windows go up and down. Don't ask me why the top is the part that goes up, because it should be like the bottom going up, but that's the sign for window. Just shows that sliding up. Okay, and I'm going to crawl through. All right, so the sign for window. So they would say open the window, or they'll say shut the window. It's the same with the door. You can open the door, or they'll say shut the door. So a lot of things can be said with just one sign, your facial expression and the force that you use. Okay, your table. where you will invite me to eat a fine home-cooked meal. And looking at some of you, please don't invite me to eat one of your home-cooked meals, because some of these guys don't look like they can cook all that well, and I'm kind of picky. I'm just teasing. I'll eat whatever you give me. I can't say that I'll enjoy it, but I will eat it, and I will try to smile. So if we do that, if we're going to sit down and have a meal together, you're probably going to have me sit at the table. So here's your table. I have no clue why this sign is the way it is. It's the table. I don't know if it's putting the food on the table. I don't know if it's that I'm going to lay on the table. That would be kind of weird. Typically, we don't do that, but you know, so it's just a table. So you show the table, okay? That's the sign for table. Some of them have a really good mental cue. Oh yeah, I remember that sign because, and then some of them are table. I can't explain them. It's just the way it is. All right. What do you do with a chair? Typically, you sit in it, right? So how might we show chair? Yes, you guys are so smart. You don't need me. You can just teach yourselves and I'll sit back and watch you and maybe I'll learn something. Okay, so here's the seat of your chair. So it's 2 fingers and then you show the person's legs sitting on the chair. So this is the sign for chair. It's also the sign for sit or sitting or any form of that word, okay? Why is it telling me I only have 10 minutes left? I do not understand this thing at all. Anyways, okay. Well, I guess it is 1:30. All right, bed. Now, you're not going to show the shape of the bed. What do you do in bed? That's right, Willow. Absolutely. So all you do for bed, this is bed. It's also sleep. Okay. All right. Well, it's bed. It's a lot of times they'll use this for sleep. The actual sign for sleep is kind of funny. You know, have you ever watched a dog or a cat? My brother used to do this all the time. He'd sit there and you'd be talking, have a great conversation, and he'd be. Have you seen people do that before? Okay, well, that's basically the sign for sleep. You're going to use your hand to show, you know, you're sleeping, and then you wake up and then you're sleep. Oh, that's more often they'll use that sign for I'm sleepy. I'm feeling sleepy, like I want to go to sleep. So just gonna, but if you drag it down, then you're asleep. It's the sign for sleep. Now, can anybody guess what might be the sign for waking up or opening your eyes in the morning? Yeah, pretty much. Your eyes open. Shocking. We hope when you wake up in the morning that your eyes open. Okay, so your eyes open. Now, if I go like, that's a completely different sign, isn't it? I'm not just, how many of you wake up like this? No, we don't wake, I know, I don't wake up like that. I don't look like that until I've had about 4 cups of coffee. but so you wake up just like that. This is that's surprise. Oh, wow, I'm surprised. So if you're just going to wake up, your eyes are going to open. Okay, the sign for rest. Now, be careful with this because some people might want to lay you out in a casket and have a funeral for you. But the sign for rest is this. So if you do this and somebody comes and sticks a flower in your hand, make sure you unfold your hands and like sit up really quick so they know you're not dead. You're just resting. Okay, same sign for relax. I'm resting, I'm relaxing. So I showed you the sign with T that you don't want to do unless you need the toilet. That's right, you don't want to shake it. But the sign for actually the restroom or the bathroom, they'll do this too. And using your R hand, restroom. They'll ask for the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? Or they'll just say, where's the toilet? Because typically the toilet is in the bathroom. Did you know that? Typically speaking. I mean, there are some differences, but all right. Hopefully in your bathroom, you have electricity so that you can have a toilet that flushes. Ethan and I, and I'm sure some of the rest of you have been in places where there is no toilet. And if there is a toilet, it doesn't work like the ones we have. So the sign for electric or electricity is simply, so you're going to bend your like 2 X hands and you connect them. It's like plugging something into the socket, okay? That's electric or electricity, shows the sparks from connecting those wires. Very quickly, telephone, guess what it might be? Oh, you guys must, yeah, you call on the telephone. Hello, hello, is anybody there now? They can't talk on the telephone, they can't hear you. It's like, hello, 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 hi, hello. But they do have telephones that you can type with, which things are way different for deaf now, but way back, well, not way back, as much as 10 years ago, they had TTYs, touch type telephones for deaf people. And they would type it in and you would pick up the receiver, they would type it and somebody would transfer their message to you. And then you would speak back into your receiver and they would type it back and the deaf person would see it on their screen. Really kind of cool. Now they have new upgraded telephones for the deaf, but they work basically the same. They're just better technology. But that is the sign for telephone, because if you're deaf people, they know hearing people, they know that we talk on the telephone. Now, how many, I'm guessing not a lot of the younger ones have one, but I'm guessing some of you older guys or girls have cell phones. So that you just use your C hand and use that, and that's a cell phone. If you do this, they're going to get it. And if you do this for a regular phone, they're going to get it. The main point is that you're talking on a telephone, okay? The sign for soap. This is your supportive hand, not this hand that you typically sign with, soap. And what, you know how you rub the soap in your hands to get the bubbles and to get it lathered up so it can actually clean your hands? Well, that's what you're showing. You're showing the soap. Now, boys, pay attention to these two signs. The sign for shower. Can anybody guess? And please use soap in the shower. Okay, so you're going to push it. You're showing the water coming down, hopefully on your head, because you need to wash your hair. Maybe you should throw some up in there. I don't know. I'm just saying, just some suggestions. Make sure you get clean. But that's the sign for shower. Okay, now the sign for bath or wash yourself up. You're going to take your two A hands and scrub. And boys, scrub hard because the stink runs deep with you. Okay, scrub hard. All right, so that's the sign for bath. When you get out of the shower, hopefully you're going to put clean clothes on. All right, the sign for clothes, take your thumbs and just brush them down just the top. You're just showing your clothes. I don't know why it's only up here, because hopefully you're wearing pants or a skirt or whatever down on the bottom too, but these are your clothes. Okay, it's also the sign, I'm going to get dressed. I'm getting clothes on. Okay. And if you plan to go outside, unless you're my oldest daughter, Amy, who loves to go barefoot, you're going to need some shoes. Now, you will see all different kinds of signs. Some people will do B for boots, S for shoes. Generally speaking, you're not going to do boots. You'll just sign shoes, okay? Whether they're running shoes, whether they're fancy shoes, doesn't matter. They're shoes. And then there are flip-flops. You know how with flip-flops, that part goes between your toes? So you're just going to show that going between your toes. Your fingers are your toes for that sign, okay? Flip-flops. Okay, so there's the main shoe, and then that part that goes between your big toe and your middle toe, or your second toe, I guess, not your middle toe. That's flip-flops, okay? The sign for happy birthday or for birthday, there is an actual official sign that you can do. There is the sign for birth, which is from the stomach and you lay the baby in your hand, okay? Birth, that's the sign for birth. And then the sign for day, we learned that one, do you remember? Day, okay? So if you're signing, now, there is another sign for birth, yes. They have changed it because the other sign for birth was a little bit, over the top. A lot of people didn't like signing it. They felt awkward signing it. And so it's birthday. Okay. If you see that, that is also the sign for birth. But typically you'll see birthday. Okay. So if we wanted to say happy birthday, be happy. You're showing the happiness bubbling up inside you. Okay. Happy birthday. Now, there is a very, very shortened way of doing that. And you'll see all kinds. You'll see this. This is the sign for candle. So I guess the candle's on your birthday cake. You might see happy birthday. You might see happy birthday. This is the one that we see the most. So with your middle finger, you touch your chin and your chest. My only guess is that you guys cannot eat cake with having it from your chin to your chest. Like it's just, you're so messy, it goes everywhere. I don't know, but that's the sign we see a lot. We'll see birthday from your chin to your chest with your middle finger and all your other fingers sticking out. Birthday, okay? So that actually, oh, we have less than a minute left. So that finishes up our whole first section, gives you some more things to work on for this next week. And you can unmute really quick and say bye if you want, because it could cut us off at any moment.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
It was fun. We'll do it next week.
I won't.
Okay.
I don't want.
See y'all later.
Bye.